We are here for a show match between our Ionian and Shurmia division teams. These are two teams that won both their finals, and now we get to see the two of the best face off towards one another here. I am the Dragon Rider. I'll be your play-by-play caster today. Joining me today is TTU Phoenix. How you doing, buddy? How's it going?
I'm doing good. The memes are locked and loaded. We're ready to go. I've played with or against most of these players at various points throughout the seasons or previous seasons. So, as mentioned, these are the first place teams. So that's Players Reborn for the Shuriman division and Ambiguous Alligators for Ionian division. Ambiguous Alligators has Vexed Dragon, I Am Stro, Eclipse, Sivori, and Astariel. And Players Reborn are fielding Ansem 571, Caged Reaper, Gruer, Squirrel Sensei, and Dr. Dad. Ambiguous Alligators won the coin toss, and they have elected to be blue side first in this best of three.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how these two teams are going to be facing off towards another, especially because for new viewers as well, these are our best of the best divisions here. So Ionian is going to be like, I would say like diamond level, and Shriman's definitely high platinum and maybe low diamond. So watching these two teams face is going to be really exciting, and it's going to be really great to watch actually.
So the
Uh,
interesting thing is that the ambiguous alligators are actually made up of Shuriman players. We had a team that, due to real life commitments, had to drop out of the Ionian division. So It's basically an Avengers assemble of Shuriman players. So this is actually okay. Savori is Diamond 4, but everyone else is in various stages of platinum.
Very interesting. You said you played with these guys before. What are key players we should probably be looking out for?
Looking at Players Reborn, I know Cage Reaper is basically the captain for the team. I'm going to be looking at mid lane with Gruer. He had a rough first two games in the finals in Shriemann, but his third game he went, I think, 12-0 on Silas. So he can be a player who really turns up if he can get a favorable matchup on champions he's comfortable on. So I want to see Players Reborn really try to engineer that for him. I'm also interested in the top lane matchup. Dragon is, like myself, an Alawi main. And looking at Players Reborn, they've had the most success when Ansem is on tanks like Ornn and Shen, most of whom have poor matchups into Alawi. So I'm expecting an Alawi ban to come out because if they want Ansem on a scaling tank, that's just going to be punished really hard. And we are into Pixie bans. Yep, the first ban from Players Reborn is Alawi. Ambiguous Alligators go with Shen and Bard. Shen, something that Ansem relied on a lot during the playoffs, and Bard is Dr. Dad's comfort pick, I believe.
Okay, I really like this. You saying the Alawi ban is crucial here is going to be really interesting to know throughout the whole series because I don't think they're going to be giving up Alawi because a person that knows Alawi as you play Alawi is a terrifying opponent.
And it would
Like,
require them to put Ansem basically on Darius. He plays Mordekaiser somewhat, but his go-to juggernaut is Darius. And Darius has a pretty solid matchup into Alawi. Most juggernauts go relatively even with her. But then that means that they don't have much in the way of CC or utility out of top lane. And I don't know if they want to sacrifice that team fight potential. So there is going to be the first pick Hecarim for Stro. It looks like it's mostly been sort of comfort bands, people just picking off like, this is their most played, this is their comfort pick. I don't know if that's a Zillion mid or a Zillion support. I think Gruer played Zillion in game one of, I think he played in the semifinals. But I think of him mostly as like a skirmisher assassin player. Like he's an Echo main. His Silas is pretty good, quite good. Oh, so they're gonna pick the Echo away from him.
ooh, okay. I do
Eclipse is
really like
also an
this Hecarim
assassin
Echo
player.
combo here.
I definitely want to see. I would expect, and I want to see ambiguous alligators draft a tank somewhere. Echo, obviously, an assassin type. Hecarim is very squishy in the early game. He's a melee bruiser with relatively lackluster base stats. And he relies on healing from Spirit of Dread to stay in the fight. Okay, so that is going to be a support Zillion with a mid lane Silas. And so Hecarim usually goes Trinity Force into either Death Dance or Cinder Hulk, and then after that it's mostly tank. But it does mean he's not really tanky until like 3 items. So I want to see Alligators draft something that can frontline before the Hecarim gets online, especially if the Hecarim is going to do Death Dance second, which I would expect Stro to do. I think I've seen him do it before. It will be a while before he really gets tanky. Players Reborn bans the Darius, really?
Oh, yeah, they're definitely doubling down on the top lane bans going into the second round for Players Reborn, going on to the ambiguous alligators. Knowing that Vex Dragon's going to be something to be feared and taken away from his champion pool is going to be crucial.
Yeah, my thought with the Darius ban was that they were looking for a weak laning tank, something like a Shen, that Darius is just going to stomp all over. But Shen's already banned, so I'm really curious where they're going to go with top lane. I think maybe Malphite? Malphite might be what they're going for here because Darius and Garen both have good matchups into that. They do have the Rammus, though, so they don't necessarily need a tank out of top lane. All right, so they haven't shown the top lane, so Ambiguous Alligator is going to have to blind pick top. They do need to pick their support here.
Let's see what they pick up here, and it is Jinx.
I'm assuming that was a time ran out situation, and it was not actually intended to be Jinx. Yeah, Pro Draft picks you basically a random champion if you let it time out.
So. Oh, yeah. So we do have confirmed that the time did run out there. It's going to be a couple seconds before we know what that Jinx really is. It's cosplaying someone really well.
Yeah. So okay. So Cho'Gath is top. I think Dragon will probably go the Glacial build instead of just the pure tank build. It might depend on the matchup here.
Yeah, so we get the... What do you think they're going to probably... They're probably going to be picking up something tanky. Yeah, Maokai seems safe here. I like Maokai.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, the early game is going to be threatening, but Maokai into any kind of caster champion by the mid game becomes really insane because his passive cooldown gets low enough that you just heal through all of their damage. Yeah. The real trick on Maokai is that, like, in comparison to most other tanks who can at least trade early, like a lot of tanks will have a decent level 2 or level 3 trade, Maokai's early trading is very poor. He really needs to get about 4 points in his Q Bramble Smash before he has enough damage to trade effectively. So I tend to think of Maokai as like a first or second back online champion. Like once you get some components online and you get to like level 7 or 8, that's when he gets ready to rumble. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if we have a what Jinx really is kind of feel, you know? Maybe lethality support Jinx. Who knows?
Lethality Jinx is actually extremely good at killing Baron because they uncapped the Jinx Rocket's damage against Baron, so it can do a couple thousand damage to Baron if you want to try to steal it.
So seeing these team comps, you do see it like I feel like Players Reborn have a really nice like family friendly team fight team comp. You know, I really like what they're pulling out here, and I really like they're going to be setting up the Jhin. They're going to be setting up the Sylas really well, and so I feel like they're going to be putting a lot of pressure in the mid and bot side of the map here.
Yeah, like the issue you're gonna have is the Maokai and the Rammus are just gonna be running into the backline and causing so much trouble. And Jhin will be relatively safe because of the Zilean ult, unless like Zilean dies first. Jhin doesn't need to worry too much, and there's pretty good ults to steal for the Sylas. Obviously, Echo ult, Hecarim ult scales off AP, so it can do a lot of damage. Cho'Gath ult is extremely good for Sylas because even after using it, he keeps the stack. So it allows Sylas to just get permanently tankier. All right, so here's what we're going to find out.
Yeah,
so it's all been...
It's Caitlyn. What is it? Give us the answers. It is the Jinx.
Okay.
They're not backing down. They're saying, it was picked, so we're taking it. You know, we're going
to... So Astariel is actually also an ADC player. So he certainly knows how to pilot the Jinx. I'm I'm a little concerned about how gankable they will be for Rammus. But I can kind of see it's probably just time ran out and we ended up with it. But I can kind of see how it will be effective in the early lane because you've got a lane bully in Caitlyn and an okay laner in Jinx. Jin's a pretty strong laner, but Zilean is not, and so you can try to punish the Zilean and stop them from scaling, shove them in pretty effectively.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a lot. There's a good amount of physical damage that Rammus is just going to be happy to soak up.
Yeah, I'm expecting the W Max Jinx coming in and just like full lethality support Jinx, and she's just gonna keep whapping him. And
Yeah,
it's gonna be a
uh,
nightmare for Zillion if he ever steps out of line.
maybe with Umbral Glaive for the ward killing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I like to see in my supports. That's the
So we are
the
in the
best kind of CC is truly death.
yeah.
Just
So
so.
we are into the spectator delay, so it'll be a few minutes before we get into the match. I'm interested to see, particularly in top lane, the choice of keystones. Uh, I think it will probably be the Glacial out of Cho'Gath. He can bully the lane early. It makes it hard for Maokai to dodge his abilities, and does bring a lot of lockdown. I'd like to see Maokai go Grasp. If you're in a tank versus tank matchup, I always prefer to take Grasp for better
Mhm.
trading and the ability to farm health. Hecarim is also a champion we see a lot of flexibility in keystones on. Used to be Predator was very common, though it's fallen somewhat out of favor now. I think now it's typically either Phase Rush or Conqueror. I go Conqueror, but I see Phase Rush a lot.
I'm definitely thinking the Hecarim's going to be a hard carry this game, and it's going to be someone we're going to have to watch out for a lot because the Hecarim can be just a menace in the early game, going into the mid game there. Late game, he's okay. He does consistent damage. I really like what he can dish out there, but he's going to be making a lot of plays. So I think, yeah, like you said before, that Conqueror is going to be super helpful in what he's going to try and accomplish this match.
I'm also interested to see his summoner spell choice. Ghost is the traditional option. You can go Flash, and I prefer to go Flash. But we do also see Hecarim sometimes running Ignite for the extra damage. And if you have Nimbus Cloak, it's easy to ignite someone and then stick to them. Hecarim's kind of a weird champion in that his early game is like technically weak because he's squishy and doesn't have crazy damage, but he also ganks very well because of how fast he is and the displacement from devastating charge, and then onslaught of shadow sphere once he has level 6. So you're in this weird position as Hecarim where like you want to get stuff going early and do stuff early to use your power and to get ideally kills so that you can get Trinity Force online, but also you're like scared of everything because you're very easy to like catch and burst out because Hecarim takes a lot of damage during his early clear. He's also extremely mana intensive early on. Like he's one of the only champions who can meaningfully deplete their mana pool with blue buff. But Rampage is just such a low cooldown and his base mana pool is not very good. So it's very easy to just burn through all of your mana using Rampage.
Yeah, really, it's going to be really interesting to see what they're going to be doing with that. There was something I wanted to discuss with you, and it was a build idea that my friend actually told me about. It was the Cho'Gath that builds Titanic Hydra because it goes based off of base damage. It should
It
be
scales off of health. Yeah.
yeah health, and so if Cho'Gath just keeps getting bigger with level 6 bites and chomps, I want to see if possibly if X Dragon's going to pull that out because that would be pretty interesting.
I don't think I do. I like the grasp on a.
Yeah, so we're just loading into game now here. Just want to make sure that the client is just a good size for everything. It is. I'm currently just doing some editing right now, so it fits. just perfect. There we go. And bada boom, bada
So it's
bing.
going to be the Relic Shield Jinx instead of Steel Shoulder Guards and Unsealed Spellbook. But yeah, my
Oh.
thoughts on yeah, I'm not really sure what the I really would have expected the Steel Shoulder Guards because you have a Jinx who scales off AD and doesn't have AP scalings except on the traps. Like, I don't think she. I mean, admittedly, it's not much AP, but like she won't benefit from it, and she would benefit from Steel Shoulder Guards. But you know what? We're gonna find out. This is kind of a meme game, so the memes have already begun.
Yeah, it's I think it might just be the consistency of getting an income for it
Yeah.
because I know
Well, the
that
Steel
some.
Shoulder Guards also have the Execute.
Oh
They're the
yeah,
AD version of Relic Shield.
yeah, that's right. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to note that Anthem took Sapling Toss at level 1 on Maokai, which I'm going to put a big old question mark on. Like, I mean, I guess, okay, he doesn't want to leash, so he wants to be in lane first, but like, you usually want Bramble Smash level 1 just because, like, it's your bread and butter trading and wave clear ability, and it's going to be hard to use the saplings early. Also, yeah, like that, saplings that aren't in bush do very little damage. They really being in the bush literally doubles the sapling's damage, and his base damage without the percent is not very good. He's also burned a lot of mana. Did Anthem take mana flow? Let's find out.
Let's see. I
He
think
didn't.
he did.
Oh no, he did take mana flow. He just hasn't hit it yet.
Oh.
Yeah, see, he would have hit it yet if he took Q. Been really easy, but no.
Oh, he's got it now. He's just gonna stack it. He's just gonna
Yeah.
do some top lane
Otherwise he is using the rune page I use. I take Demolish instead of Font of Life, but you're probably not going to get to tower as a Maokai in this matchup. So
yeah. It's gonna be. I'm interested to see how the bot lane is definitely going to be answering and seeing how well they're going to be punishing with the Caitlyn Jinx combo. And I'm going to be definitely watching our junglers as they path towards the sides of the map because we do see Rammus pathing towards bot side while we see Hecarim actually pathing towards a top side gank here.
I think those both make sense. Bot lane is very eminently gankable by from Rammus's perspective, and you want to get it ahead. And the ambiguous alligators, completely forgot the team's name. They want to gank top because Maokai, particularly early on, struggles to self-peel, and he's already out of mana. And if you can get Cho ahead, the lane will become really rough for Mao. So ganking early, like now when Mao is already out of mana, because he went Doran Shield instead of Corrupting Potion. Just go Corrupting Potion, people. It's like an incredible starter item. It's super good.
Yeah, you can see the Cho'Gath actually punishing the Maokai really hard. Well, we get a bot lane gank here. Cage the Reaper is going to get a nice taunt off onto Asterio there with the nice double bomb combo going out onto the Jinx. We're going to be possibly seeing the Zillion taking a lot of damage from Gavori on the Caitlyn. So, all in all, it was close, but I don't think it's going to be a first blood quite yet. These two teams are going to be playing it pretty safe and using to their advantages properly here.
Yeah, and one thing is Stro saw and knows that Rammus is bot side and that he wouldn't have cleared his top side, so he's going to... okay, Cage Reaper feeds Gromp a little.
just you gotta feed your jungle camps. You know, you just gotta make sure they're nice and healthy. You gotta.
It's like old Mordekaiser when you used to be able to get a champion ghost. Like, you feed someone so that when you kill them with the ult, then you get a really good ghost. And it's just a galaxy brain play.
Oh, yes. Yes. And see, if the Krug, the little Gromp there, would actually have a Rammus ghost by its side right now, then you'd have two Rammuses.
Kind of like a little pet in Among Us, basically.
Yeah.
Is there enough damage here?
I don't
Okay.
think so. He's running really low on mana, so Ansem's going to have to back here, but I don't think that Cho'Gath has necessarily the burst damage to completely take out a Maokai. He is
No,
really
and he's not sick
tanky.
yet.
Oh, he
Oh,
did
he's good.
land
Oh,
off another Q. He's getting real close. Here comes
oh no!
Cage.
Here
Cage
comes
is coming in to get the taunt off, and oh, he flashes towards the tower, and first blood going over to the Rammus. Excellent job. Quite the bait. The the
See, the
tree
interesting thing,
played his role properly.
yeah, I will say Vex, I think, played it about as well as he could. Once he saw that he was getting ganked and was almost certainly dead, he tries to trade, and he actually, like, yes, Cage Reaper gets first blood. Obviously, that is bad for Vex. But Maokai gets nothing. He didn't get the assist there, and he burned his flash. So, like, and he's down 12 CS. So, like, Cho's still in command of this lane. He's a little behind on XP. Like, he needs to get level 6, which he's just gotten, but like he should be able to continue to run the lane even with Ansem having the Bomby Cinder.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty devastating for the top lane, seeing what is gonna happen. Cho'Gath is level 6 now, so he knows his damage numbers. Vex Dragon's going to be chunking down the Maokai here. Is going to do a ton of damage. Is it going to be enough to kill him? Cho'Gath is taking a lot of damage from the top side there, but now we're going to be looking bot side as we watch the fight unfold here. There's going to be no kills all around the map here, but it's going to be really close. Really heavy trading teams, but everyone's so tanky and has something to respond to literally everything that the other team has to offer.
And I will say that as much as like the fact that the Jinx Caitlyn are not losing hard is probably pretty good for them, because I don't know what the Jinx is going to build, but lethality or like traditional ADC, it's still going to be a second carry most likely. And so it's like the fact that you're not losing means that carry potential is still there. And with the Cull for the Caitlyn as her starter item, she's going to have a little bit more in the way of gold than the Jhin is.
Yeah, we're going to see another engage from Ansem. He does have a lot of damage on to Vex Dragon, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to kill him. The pure numbers advantage from the minions is going to stop that trade.
Notably, Vex saved his TP. Oh, he didn't quite finish the recall. But Vex saved his teleport while Ansem teleported to lane. So he can essentially back TP in and maintain lane pressure.
Mm-hmm. There was something I wanted worth noting here as well, as what I just witnessed from the Silas was pretty fun, actually. So, in the fastest recall in the West, might I add, he took I think it was the Echo ulti, and then he backed, and then used the Echo ulti to immediately go back into lane. And so, he had possibly just like a TP, but faster, by stealing Echo ulti.
It's pretty rare to see an actual Echo use that trick, because obviously the ult's very valuable. But for the Silas, like, he can only hold the ult for, I think, 90 seconds. So if it was about to time out, you might as well use it for a quick recall. And he is going to back again, this time to pick up his Lost Chapter, which is pretty useful. Silas's wave clear is not excellent. And so the additional AP, CDR, and the mana restore in particular will help him keep control of the lane. It is going to be lethality Jinx.
Yep, yeah. I thought this is the dream. This is the dream. Okay, she's gonna hit W. She's gonna one shot something.
Interesting. So we see executioners calling on the Echo. Like, obviously, Silas' healing is an issue, and AP champions do suffer from the fact that they don't have a Grievous Wounds component. And Eclipse did not take Ignite, so he's going to really struggle to cut through the healing from Gruer. But on the other hand, Executioner is going to be real bad for him because he doesn't scale off AD, he doesn't apply it easily. Oh, Gruer may be caught out. He's going to use the Echo, the Hecarim ult.
Yeah, we're going to see a big fight happen at the Shelly here. There is going to be a fallen Cage, and soon to follow him, a fallen Ansem. Down goes the tree. Sidestep from Vex, but it's not going to be enough. Gruer is going to be taking out the Cho'Gath. Is he going to live with his life, though? He will not, for surely. This I Am Stro will come in with his battle axe ready and takes him down.
Yeah, he was actually mid Kingslayer animation there when he died. I was checking his cooldown bar, like it literally came up right before he died, but it doesn't give you the healing until it finishes going off. So
we do
oh, there's
see
gonna be
a
a catching
ulti bot lane. There is going to be a lot of damage going down to Estreliel there on the Jinx. She is going to fall to the burst that Zillion and Jhin can do. The slows, the stuns from the Zillion, and well, with the Jhin in the background, hitting his ultimate is going to be doing massive damage. And there's not really much you can do to respond with that. You have to be in a super safe position, or you're going to have to be in a spot where your jungler is right beside you, because Jhin and Zillion are just going to keep doing that any chance they get.
Good trade from Eclipse in the mid lane. The Grievous Wounds is helping out there. Fleet Footwork Silas is probably going to be able to sustain back up relatively well, but Gruer maybe is in danger. No, Eclipse decides not to commit for the kill.
So we're going to see that Vex Dragon is actually going to be taking down Ansem there with the combo, does use the ulti, gets the stack off on the tree, and now we see Cage actually fighting Vex. I think it might be a lost cause here. It's super, super close. Vex just has to respect the Rammus ulti, does flash into a bush, but Cage is looking for more. He's going to go back with another Powerball. Is it going to be enough? It is not.
Oh,
it is
the Super Soaker!
The Super Soaker takes out the Armadillo.
Oh, man. That was a call the ambulance, but not for me moment right there.
It's very true. Very
Stroh's
true.
going to pick up Cloud Drag. I'd like to give a shout out to Cloud Drag. It's my least favorite soul, but it is my favorite like one-off drag. Like if I'm gonna have if they're like, here's a drag they're just gonna get one of, I really like Cloud Drag because a little bit of ult CDR really helps. Particularly for the Cho'Gath. Feast is an 80-second flat cooldown. It's lower than most other ults, which often start around 120, 140, but it doesn't go down by level. So Cho really likes cooldown reduction to Feast as much as possible. It's already 46.8 seconds. He's almost cut the ult cooldown in half with Hextech GLP, the Cloud Drag, and oh, he didn't even take Ultimate Hunter.
Oh, here comes Cage. Australia is attacked again. The poor Jinx just wants to build lethality, man. She is getting bullied and does get taken down here.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing where at this point, Cage is fast enough that they can kind of just run in if Istariel is not right under his own tower. I Am Stroh's here to respond, so they probably won't be able to get the tower. Hecarim does not yet have his Trinity Force. He is going to be taunted.
And Cage is going. Cage is angry. Cage procs the ultimate. The Jinx rocket does go out, but does miss. I Am Stro goes in, and then he does. Is he gonna fall here? He does. The Jhin gets an auto attack off, follows him to his death. Now we do see that the Echo gets caught out. The Maokai is ulted by the Zillion, is going to fall, but then soon resurrect. They are playing this really slow. Players are born playing this fight out really smart. The Sylas is in the back lines, and we see Cage going in there. They are trading off, on, off with the tower. The ulti from the Caitlyn going out onto the Jinx, and the Jinx will fall as well. Huge win for Players Are Born here.
Yeah, so it's going to be a tower race between top and bottom. The bottom tower does actually have a lot of resist now. But with all of that damage, I think they're going to get, yes. So first tower does go to Players Reborn. That fight saw 3 teleports. Eclipse teleported in for Ambiguous Alligators. Gruer and Ansem both teleported in. And while they do lose Caged Reaper, and I think Ansem might have died. No, he did not die.
No, he got resurrected. He was close, but...
Very close. It really comes out ahead because Vex Dragon chose not to teleport. I don't know if it just wasn't on cooldown or if he elected not to follow, but it's going to be first tower and actually a very small gold lead in favor of Players Reborn, functionally the two teams are basically even, which I'm going to guess is mostly due to the farm leads. Vex Dragon is 2,500 gold ahead of Ansem because of the tower and all the plates, because, he has 3 kills, and because he's 40 CS up. We have a 30 CS lead on the Hecarim, which is really good for Hecarim because he has very expensive items that he needs to buy. And so that's making up a lot of the gold advantage that Players Reborn would otherwise have from their first tower and greater amount of kills.
So we
Oh
do
no,
see
Jinx!
the Cage is going to get onto the Jinx, but it's not going to be enough damage. Huge damage going out to Cage there, but is going to just live with a sliver of HP. The Jinx rocket going out, not going to be able to take it. The ulti going out from Caitlyn, not going to be able to take it. They had a Zillion ulti on Cage, but it didn't matter because he just was too tanky.
Yeah, so Stroh's going to be starting up the Rift Herald because he knows that Cage Reaper is going to have to back after all that damage he took. And with Cho'Gath here, this should be a pretty easy secure. They should give it to Cho so that he can get a stack because it doesn't count against his minion and monster count stack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no, they do not have Cho'Gath ult available, so they won't.
We're seeing a nice duel actually happen with the Sylas and the Echo here. It's going to be really close. And they almost get the Echo. They almost get the Sylas, but no one actually comes out on top there. They do grab that Shelly. Now Cage is looking for some damage going out onto the Caitlyn, out onto the Hecarim. Does get picked off by the Jhin ulti. Everyone's really, really low, and Players Reborn are in a really nice position.
Yeah, Stro and Sivori were both like trying to get the other to tank the last Jhin shot because they both were in range to die from it. So Vex is going to be here to clear the wave. Cho's wave clear is pretty good no matter what, but with AP Cho, it's even better. They're going to be going for Dragon. Now, Vex does have Feast available, and it's always difficult to contest a neutral objective against a Cho because if he's willing to die for it, he can always just smite it. But he's going to be kind of busy here.
Yeah, he does get caught out by the Sylas, by the Zillion, and gets shut down. And the money going over to Sylas, which is notable here, because Sylas has been running amok on this team, stealing ultis, playing it really well. Really smart Sylas mechanics coming out.
Yeah, he uses the ult for the finisher there, probably just for style. I think they would have had that kill anyway. But they do pick up the shutdown. So I'm interested to see where Vex goes next. Typically, Glacial Cho, after the Hextech, GLP, and the Twin Shadows, will usually transition into tank items. But he has a lot of different options for what he wants to go for here. He's got Ninja Tabby and a Null Magic. It might just be Stone Plate, but something like Abyssal Mask wouldn't be bad here. Or potentially Adaptive Helm, because it does work very well on Rammus's damage. They're going to grab the tower for Ambiguous Alligators in mid using Shelly. So they do have more map control now. Taking out the mid tower gives you so much access to the enemy jungle, denies the enemy a fallback point for neutral objective fights as well.
Need a change. Sorry, there is a little issue with the HUD here. I'm trying to fix that. But let's quickly watch this match here. We're going to see a shutdown going out to
an issue with his HUD in that it is now in grayscale. It was actually a really good fight for Gruer. Like, he is pretty much thoroughly controlling this match. Oh, there's a pick on Squirrel Sensei.
Oh my god, every time I try and fix it, something happens.
So they're going to get the Chrono Shift. He's going to be hit with the knockup, and the shutdown is going to go to Sivori, but he's just going to be jumped on by the burly men. So that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. But ultimately, that does favor Ambiguous Alligators because there was a really big bounty on Squirrel Sensei. Caitlyn got almost 1,000 gold for that, and considering how far behind she is, she really needs the money to catch up. I was saying that earlier, Gruer is very much controlling the 1v1 against Eclipse at this point. Eclipse is kind of behind because of the Executioners, which isn't doing very much for him in the 1v1, whereas Gruer is close to his Leandries, which is going to give him a lot of just like sustained damage. But Stroh's there to back Eclipse up, and Eclipse manages to stall until Stroh can show up and get the kill.
Not here.
Ansem has yet to finish an item. Let me see, how much does he have? Ansem, you have enough for Adaptive Helm. Go back and get Adaptive Helm. Like, just hit B and go get your adaptive helm. He might be going for a Spirit Visage, but Adaptive Helm wouldn't even be bad against this team. And Maokai synergizes well with basically all of the magic resist items. So he has some options there. I like it. Abyssal Mask, Spirit Visage are really good at Maokai. He may be looking to try to finish his Sunfire, though, because of how much physical damage threat there is in the enemy team. All right, so Stro did go for second item Cinderhulk, which I think is the right call here. He's 1, 2, and 3. He's a little behind. Okay, Ansem finishes his adaptive helm. Thank you.
He did it.
Yes, he did it. We did it, Reddit. Like Stro's kind of behind, so going the Death Dance would have been pretty risky, and he would have had the damage, but he would have, if he goes in, he's not coming out. But Cinderhulk does bring him about 400 more health because it does amplify the bonus health from Trinity Force, and it'll just give him that much more survivability. He'll probably go with the Death Stance next. Or something like Sterox is also a good item on Hecarim. There's going to be a fight in the mid lane.
Yeah, we're going to get the Hecarim engaging on to the Zilean, but he's going to be immediately bursted out and taken down. The kill going over to Ansem on the Maokai. The Jhin ulti is going to be doing some nice damage as well. They're going to be taking out this tower, and it's business casual for Players Reborn here on the Shurmia All-Stars.
Yeah, the issue that Ambiguous Alligators are running into is like their melees, particularly the Cho'Gath, the Hecarim, and the Echo, are so squishy. Like Echo's obviously not a tanky character, but like Stro's behind and not very tanky. And in addition to all the damage from like Jhin and Zilean there, it's just so hard for them to exist in a fight where a Rammus and Maokai exist, because they're going to get rooted, they're going to get taunted, they're going to get knocked up. Like they're not able to survive during the amount of CC that they're going to eat just for existing in a fight. It's what I call like
Looks like you cut out there for a second there.
Sorry.
There you go.
Push to talk strikes again. There's a lot of ambient damage that they're just going to have to survive, and they're not tanking up to survive it. Gruer is caught out, though. He's
so much damage coming out from Eclipse there, catching Gruer on the side and completely just assassinating him. This is going to be a really nice fight for the Ambiguous Alligators, the Ionian All-Star team. They're going to be onto the Eclipse, knowing that he doesn't have ulti. They're going to be changing focus onto the Cho'Gath on the front line here. Jin's doing some great damage. Just take that out. Here comes I Am Stro, but is immediately caught by Cage. Double kill going over to the Squirrel here. He does grab another kill on the Jhin, and they're going to be looking for a dragon.
I was going to say that it actually looked like a good fight for Ambiguous Alligators because of the fact that Gruer was picked early, but then the dive into the backline only succeeds in killing off the Zilean. Rammus just isolates the Echo, and he's picked off pretty quickly. And without Echo's damage, Sivori and Astariel are forced mostly just to run to try to peel for themselves and survive.
Yeah, they played that fight really cleanly, had a really good protection for the Jhin, and Jhin in that fight did so much damage, and no one was able to really assassinate him. Eclipse getting completely shut out there, not able to get the main damage source on Players Reborn, the Shurmia All-Stars there.
Yeah, and notably, Vex Dragon is building into Abyssal Mask. It's an excellent item for Cho'Gath. It gives him health, mana, CDR, magic damage amplification. Great item all around. Doesn't give armor. All he's got is Ninja Tappy, which is a great item. 20 armor, 12% base attack damage reduction. But this Jhin is really fed. Like, really fed. This is a 9-in-1 Jhin with 3 items. Ninja Tappy is not enough. He needs a Randuin's Omen really fast. But as a result,
yeah, Gruer is in a dangerous spot. Down goes Gruer there. Is going to be taken over by the Hecarim showing up. Great fight. The Sylas can probably duke it out with with the Echo there pretty well, but I don't think it's going to be worth your time in a sense that it's going to take so long to do that trade that all around the map you can have other things occur, you know, and you can see that I Am Stro had enough time just to rotate over and help assist getting a free kill essentially onto Silas.
Yeah, he like
Ah,
Gruer can win the 1v1, but he definitely can't win the 1v2.
that's a fast armadillo.
Armadillo, I believe.
So now they're going to be looking for taking Baron as they saw so many resources spent on the bot side of the map, but the caged
Beast is
armadillo
available.
is coming and he is ready to fight. He's on the flank
Okay,
there,
they're gonna
is
pull
going to
off.
be looking for something. We do get the Jhin ultimate going out. The Maokai is going to be onto the Cho'Gath. They do take out the Jinx here, and we're going to be looking for possibly more. The ulti from the Silas, stolen from Hecarim, over to the Cho'Gath is going to ensure that he is going to fall as well. They do pick up the Caitlyn, and now Player Reborn are on top again.
Dr. Dad flashed over the wall to speed boost the Aramis into the enemy backline, which is a Chad play if I've ever seen one. Yeah, so this should be a pretty free Baron now. Stro does have Smite, but he doesn't really have a way in. He's just going to get taunted here, and the Rammus is just going to keep him busy. The Jinx ult does come through, but it's a little too early, and yeah, they are going to finish off the Baron. There's no response from Ambiguous Alligators, and it looks like Players Reborn is going to take the winning and recall. They're now up about 5,000 gold, so they now have a pretty significant gold lead. Curious as to where Squirrel Sensei goes. I think he could go for full crit. Okay, he is going to go for pen, because there's a little bit of armor on the side of Ambiguous Alligators. He's still got a health potion. But at this point, like, there's not enough tankiness to really survive him. Like, I think he could just afford to go full crit, or maybe a lifesteal item. He does a fleet footwork though. He did take life. He did take Legend Bloodline, so he does not need a he doesn't need a lifesteal item.
Oh, okay, so he's going to be pretty strong.
He'll be good for self healing. Between Fleet Footwork and Legend Bloodline, he won't need a lifesteal item, so he'll probably go crit for his last one. My guess, they are going to get Sivori. I was like, they're gonna look at Sivori, they're gonna get Sivori.
They're gonna get Sivori. That armored armadillo is dangerous and is very mobile.
Yeah. Have you seen this man? He is armored and dangerous. Do not approach.
Krugs may have got me in the first half, but we're going to see Cage going in onto the Hecarim there. They're going to be engaging. Jhin flashing away, actually, after taking a lot of damage from the Echo. Echo is going to be headhunting him down, but the Rammus might be doing something in response to this. We do see a top lane big boy smackfest. We do see the nice damage coming out from Zilean. Squirrel Sensei taking out the Echo, and back to the top lane we see the Smackfest, the wet noodle fight, the pool party fans fiesta here, and I would like
but Maokai's winning this is the thing. Like, Cho just can't kill him. Mao's just out healing his damage. It's going to take a long time for Mao to win the fight, but Mao will win the fight.
Yeah, slowly but surely Mao will win. You know, that tree is sturdy. It is no longer the branches from the beginning when we saw. Now it is a sturdy oak tree. So
that's a unusual interaction. Stro runs away and then is forced to come back to the taunt. And like, look, the horse broke its leg. Jhin had to put it down.
That's it. So he tried to run away with his E, but Rammus taunted him while he was trying to go back. And so it extended his range, so he ulted away, but because of the extended range, when he was taunted, he came back and just ran right back into it.
So at this point, it's mostly a process of how fast... Oh, dear.
Armored tank.
This is mostly a question of how fast can Players Reborn close this out. They have Baron, they have an extremely fed Jhin. So barring like Jhin getting hit by some kind of crazy CC combo, while Zilean is also hit by a CC combo, It should just be a case of Players Reborn closing this out. They do no longer have Baron, so they are going to have to pull off from trying to end the game. Jinx Rocket hit, but it didn't do that much damage because this is an Umbral Glaive Jinx who is building into Redemption, it appears.
Oh. Interesting build, but you know what? It's a team. It's a team, so Redemption, always a good item.
Yep, and Redemption works pretty well as a solo healing item, even for champions that aren't true enchanters. That's why you'll sometimes see like Braum and Leona and Thresh build it, even if they're not going to build other enchanter items. This is probably a dead Cho'Gath here.
Fast Ramus. Fast Armadillo. He goes in with the taunt. He gets the Zillion. And the Silas is here as well. Where's the Cho'Gath gonna run? Absolutely nowhere. As he dies, I am Star's like thinking he can help, but is quickly immediately runs the other direction there. Yserial is going to be caught out by every which direction. No escaping. Players Reborn's fury here. There goes the Hecarim. There goes the Hecarim again to the other side. Man, these teams are fast, and they're ready to keep going. A lot of damage going out onto the Ansem is going to be going in onto the Hecarim. They're going to be trying to see if they can go over the wall, possibly pick off the Caitlyn, possibly pick off the Echo. Flash coming out from the Caitlyn, and now we're going to probably see a little bit more from these guys as well. Taking two inhibitors.
Cage Reaper just gets to go wherever he wants. He is a 6-3 Rammus who's level 16. Like, it's going to be pretty easy for them to close this out. Whereas the turrets are going to begin to fall. Potentially, there's no. Okay, no, the mid inhib is down. The second inhib is going to fall.
Ooh, double Cho'Gath knockup. Goes in for a flash ulti onto the Silas. Does take out Silas here. We're going to be looking for more damage. When you thought it was down and out, these guys are fighting tooth and nail to keep this game alive.
So they are going to take out the Rammus. So the big initiation is down. Ooh, the slow from
Throws going
so
in.
Huge.
But you see that Jhin is just doing damage and just not stopping. Double kill. Triple kill. Can he get a quadra? Make that boy go fast. Auto attack. Quadra kill. We're going to be looking for more. Is it going to be enough damage? Slowly going in. Pentakill from Players Reborn here. There we go, Sensei. Very well done. This man can definitely count to 4. Pentakill in game 1. This is amazing.
That was actually he almost got shut down short of the Penta. If Ansem had not body blocked the Q, Piltover Peacemaker does reduce damage to every champion after the first. I think it probably would have killed Jhin if he'd been the first target, but Ansem takes the damage. Squirrel Sensei barely survives, and they do get enough lockdown for Players Reborn to end the game and go up.
Yeah, really well done. I'm really excited to see what we're going to watch for the damage numbers from here, actually. So it should be pretty...
I'm going to expect in next game we are going to see a support that's not Jinx. I'm just gonna take a guess here.
Not Jinx. You don't, man. I was rooting for Jinx. You know, I was hoping.
But it was an accident. I don't think it was what they wanted here. Probably. Well, honestly speaking, yeah. So something besides the Jinx accidental, I'd like to see a little more frontline out of Ambiguous Alligators. Like, the problem with AP Cho'Gath is you're basically just relying on raw health from your ultimate for durability. It took him until his third item to actually get to tankiness. And because he went for Abyssal Mask third, like, he only had the Ninja Tabby for armor, so he was super vulnerable to the Jhin. Hecarim is a bruiser, but he needs items to really be tanky because he doesn't have natural tankiness, and he was behind. So, like, Trinity Force Cinderhulk is health, but not enough in the way of actual defense. He was working on, he had Merc Treads, he was working on a Randuin's Omen, but he was just too behind to get to the durability he needed. And, like, I think you could have fixed it just by having Vexed play, like, traditional tank Cho'Gath. But I'd like to see a true frontline out of Ambiguous Alligators because they didn't really have a solution to the frontline from Players Reborn just, like, running into them. Like, they didn't have people who could tank the enemy front line and backline while also like peeling. Like you were basically hoping that Stro plus Vexed one shots the Jin was like the plan.
Yeah, and it might have worked. Honestly, it could have worked, but the Maokai and the Rammus were in the way, and no way you can get to this Jin. And if you did get to the Jin, you're facing against the CC from Silas and from Zillion. So really well team-oriented fighting from Players Reborn here, and really showing up and taking the first victory.
We're going to take a very quick break while the teams get set up for game 2. I need to grab a drink, and I think we need to get some stream elements sorted out. So we'll be back in just a
Yes.
moment, folks.
Don't worry, I'll fix that overlay. Alrighty, folks, we are back with our round 2 of the Ionian versus Shurmia Division All-Stars here. We're going to be going directly into our picks and ban phases. I'm assuming that we're going to be most likely seeing the same stuff as last time here, and it should be really interesting to see if they change up anything, if they're going to do anything for pick wise for the ambiguous alligators. So they, instead of banning the Lulu, they picked up the Lulu this time.
Yeah, so players reborn run back the same bans, which is pretty common when you see a team win a game because it's like, hey, it worked last time. They stick with the Shen ban, but this time they banned the Jin and the Zillion. I at first I was like, I don't know if the Zillion need to be banned, but the Zillion did enable the Rammus quite a bit, and so they just elect to take that whole bot lane combo out, and they secure a more comfortable pick for Istariel.
Yeah, we do see the bot lane being shown from both sides here. Twitch, Lulu versus Ezreal, Yuumi. What do you think's going to happen with that?
Well, Ezreal Yuumi is like a very classic safe lane. Realistically, I don't expect there to be a ton of action without jungler intervention in this game, because both Twitch and Ezreal are really farming oriented. Twitch is more of a late game carry, but like neither of them are really dynamite in the lane phase, and you have two defensive supports. So there will be trading, but like neither has a lot of options to really try to like hard secure kills. I'm interested to see where the set goes. It could be top or jungle, but they are going to take the Hecarim for Players Reborn, take that away. And I'm curious to see what they. So they're going to ban the Garen again.
Yeah, probably. I think it's just going to be a salty run back, to be honest. It's going to be Garen, Darius. But they already, if that's set, that might be a set top lane, so.
It's the run back salty if you want.
True.
Right, so yeah, so if they do ban the Darius, that means they think that it's not a set top, and they think it's a set jungle.
Yeah, so
They're gonna ban the Garen and the Darius, so
they're thinking it. We don't know. Sometimes we might see something spicy in the top lane. It might be Lulu. It might be
really
Lulu
kind of
top.
surprised by the Darius because it's like, I guess with the Ornn and Shen bans, like that leaves Ansem on Maokai, and yeah, sure, Maokai will lose to Darius, but like, you have counterpick again, so like, you could have just taken the Darius.
Yeah, and Maokai loses really hard to set, so strong.
Yeah, it's
strong pick here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like they seem very committed to the idea of putting Ansem on a scaling tank, even though he does have lane bully picks. So the question, I think the smart money here would be to pick your top laner because, okay, Wukong. That's a Wukong.
That's a flex.
It could be mid, but I doubt it. I don't. That's almost certainly a Wukong top to me. Wukong, I don't actually know what his matchup is like into set. Generally, Wukong does very well into physical damage champions because he has so much bonus armor from his passive. But I don't actually know how the matchup goes.
The matchup is actually, I think, to be honest, is probably more favored to set jungle. We get bamboozled once more.
Yeah. So they need some strong magic damage here from mid because you've got AD mostly tank jungle and an AD top. So you need something that's going to bring a lot of magic damage. And the Echo's been banned. What are they going to play here? Because I think Eclipse plays like Yasuo and stuff, but you can't really go with that, or else it's going to be full armor.
Elise? What is happening?
Wait, I think it's a set mid.
I
think they're flexing set to mid.
Set mid, Kled top, Elise jungle?
It could be Kled mid, actually.
Do they think they have enough AP damage just from Elise alone?
Well,
probably.
So I suspect that it was a set jungle and a Kled top, and they are now trying to flex them because they realize they need magic damage. And Elise will at least bring enough magic damage that it can force the enemy team to consider building AP. I think it's probably I don't know whether I'd rather put Kled into Ari or Wukong. I think probably you put the Kled into the Ari here. Kled's base MR did get nerfed down to 29. So he's going to be a little weaker, but he's still very good against mages, particularly before RE6, because Kled is incredibly sticky and has lots of base damage. So he just runs up on mages and kills them. So I think Kled will probably do better into Ari. Kled struggles into Juggernauts and some Bruisers if he doesn't snowball hard, because Kled is very much a bursty champion, particularly early game. And he really he tends to unload all his damage in a combo and then kind of walk away. Uh, but he's also very good at surviving burst because of Scarl. Any damage that is in excess of Scarl's health is just lost. So he's really good against bursty champs because they dismount him, but then they've already burned all their cooldowns. But champions that are durable with good DPS can dismount him and then kill him. And so I feel like Wukong, if Wukong doesn't fall behind, will actually be able to do pretty well into Kled in the mid game. All
Yeah,
right, it
so
is
it
going to
is
be
going to be set mid. Interesting. So what do you think's how do you feel the set versus Ari matchup goes here?
I guess the question is what set's going to build, because we saw at Worlds a number of tank set mids, and the idea there is basically you build Sunfire into Deadman, you build Bammy Cinder into Deadman's, essentially regardless of your lane opponent. And what you're just doing is you clear the wave, and then you use Deadman's to run and invade or gank side lanes. Like, you're not there to lane, you're there to clear waves and roam. Or are they going to actually go a damage set with Bork or Trinity Force or Cleaver or whatever, and actually try to fight the Ari? And I don't know. I've never played mid, so I'm not really sure how that goes.
I feel like it's going to be more tanky because it looks like they have the damage from the Elise, they have the damage from the Kled, and then they're going to have nice damage from Twitch Lulu bot lane. And Lulu's just a safe, secure pick, so you can't really assassinate anything with a Lulu beside it, right? So I would like to see more of a front line come out of them. So I feel like it's going to be more of a set tank build here.
Yeah, I think set tank is also good because they need a tank. Like Kled, not a tank. I prefer to play Kled with a tank or at least another bruiser somewhere, because Kled is just not durable enough, particularly once he dismounts, to be able to frontline for a team. And so he's really a diver and needs someone else to back him up.
Yeah, so now we got it all locked in. Now we get to talk a little bit about how we're going to envision our team fights are going to go and how we envision our early games into who's scaling, who doesn't scale, which team do you think's going to be favored here?
So, I mean, the team fight is pretty straightforward for Players Reborn. Wukong and Hecarim just go in with their ults. And between the fear and the knockup, it's a lot of damage and disruption. Once again, Gruer's on a pick that can kind of take care of itself. And then Squirrel Sensei on the Ezreal, and then Dr. Down the Yuumi. Very safe. Yuumi can ride Wukong or Hecarim in to get a better ult off, but could also just sit on the Ezreal to keep him safe. I think a lot of it's going to come down to how well Savory positions and how well his team can peel for him. Because, if he gets the rat-a-tat-tat off without being CC'd or dying, he can definitely just kill the entire enemy team. Because, Wukong and Hecarim are not tanky enough to, survive a Twitch. Particularly if Wukong's going Bork and Trinity Force and maybe Death Dance. He's not going to have the raw health and armor. Hecarim, as we mentioned before, not super tanky until mid to late game. So Twitch can absolutely just obliterate the enemy team, but does he die before he gets to do that is the question.
Yeah, so they're definitely going to need a lot more peel for sure in order to do that. So I think that's why they probably brought out the Lulu here, was to hopefully negate the or prolong the Twitch death, you know?
Yeah, your job is just to keep him alive as much as you can. Polly, one of the divers, put the wild growth on the Twitch. And basically Savory, and to be honest, You sometimes see like the tank set going into the back line for like disruption. But the fact is that Stro and Vex are probably going to be diving. Eclipse should probably just be on peel duty. His job should just be ult the Hecarim or the Wukong away from the Twitch. Make sure that they don't get the burst out on him.
Yeah, the Wukong is going to be really hard to stop that engage. One of the big scary things that I'm worried about late game is that Yuumi, as soon as it detaches from Ezreal and reattaches to say like a Hecarim or a Wukong, she's gonna go in there and she's gonna get a nice ulti off, which is going to stun almost every single member of them biggest alligators.
Yeah. People always call it a stun, but it is in fact a root. The Yuumi ult is a root. So it doesn't stop you from casting abilities.
Oh, okay. So
It's just a root.
huh.
I don't know how long of a root it is. Maybe like 1.5 seconds.
Is it similar to Morgana? I imagine it is.
It's not nearly as long. Not nearly as long.
No.
Morgana root by far the longest. Okay. Rooted for 1.75. 1.75.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, the Morgana is the longest route, I believe.
What's that? 1 point.
Wait, no.
It feels like
No.
eternity.
Morgana's route lasts for 3 seconds. The longest, I believe, is Nico's. Okay, no, Nico ties.
Ooh.
If Nico's E tangle barbs, if it goes through one target, the empowered route is 3 seconds. Once the ability is fully maxed.
Oh my god.
So that is tied. I think the longest duration base CC, base ability CC, used to be Echo. Because Echo stun used to last for 3.25 seconds on his W. I think it's been nerfed to 2.25 now. Let me check. Echo. I'm on the League wiki.
Oh yes. Fun facts.
Parallel convergence. Stun for 2.25. Yes. I'm actually curious what the longest duration CC. They did actually remove a type of CC in the latest patch, by the way, if you're interested. There used to be a weak type of CC called Entangle, which was a Mumu ult. And only a Mumu ult applied it. It was a root plus disarm. So it stopped you from moving and it stopped you from auto attacking, but it did not stop you from casting abilities. And now they have made it just a stun. So you can't move, attack, or use abilities.
Interesting.
Vex did go ignite. So so we should do the runes and masteries. We have Conquer on Eclipse. Doesn't necessarily tell us much. He could go Predator maybe if he was going like the tank roaming build, but even on like tank set, Conqueror is still pretty useful. So I think this suggests he's more likely to go damage, but it doesn't guarantee it. Stro went Electrocute, former Thunderlord's Decree, which was a much cooler name. Press the attack on the Twitch, Guardian on the Lulu for maximum protect. It is going to be the Glacial build out of Gruer. So that is a more supportive, a little less damaging Ari. Vexed is the interesting one to me. He went Ignite on the Kled, which suggests that he's looking to kind of hard stomp lane. And just go for the early pressure, which Kled has a lot of, but it also means that if he falls behind, Ansem's global pressure will outmatch it. And he went press the attack. Kled can usually go Conqueror, but press the attack gives him better upfront burst. And so you sometimes see it taken if you're up against a ranged opponent or someone who's very slippery, where you need to get as much damage as you can off right away.
All right, I think
It could start Haymaker, yeah, which is pretty standard if you're up against a ranged opponent in a set. Haymaker Max actually gives you a lot of lane control and a lot of poke against ranged opponents. So we have a red side, a Raptor start actually from Caged Reaper going to red, now to Gromp. It will give him his whole red side jungle, but he's going to burn a lot of his mana to do it. The Stro went red to Wolves to blue, which is a pretty standard path. I like to start blue because almost every jungler can full clear starting blue if you get at least one scuttle. And assuming you don't like die or something. Vex leveled up his W early, which he probably didn't need to do on Kled. You often want to hold leveling W until you know you're going to fight, because it's the only W you'll have absolute control over when it activates. Like now he's going to have to use it. Anthem's taking a lot of damage,
Ansem's taking a
actually.
lot of damage, but Cage Reaper comes in, is going to be taking out Vex. He does try and do the
Oh,
flash,
the
trying to
flash
get the
shot goes off the
cheese
mark.
onto the Ansem, but it's not going to happen there. So Vex actually blowing both of his summoners is going to be really hard for him to fight back against Ansem here.
Yeah. And Ansem didn't burn anything. I think he needed to, once he saw Ansem run, he needed to flash shotgun much earlier. Because if he flash shotgunned him for the kill, the Triumph proc plus the courage that you get. Oh, well, Cage Reaper's going to die. I guess he checked. Yeah, I think he just walked into the Tribush, and Elise. Oh, well, that's double Anthem.
Wukong going in. Wukong smack. Wukong takes what he wants.
Elise, an ancient noble lady who has achieved near immortality through a pact with a spider god. Hecarim, an unholy fusion of necromantic magic, a horse, and a knight. Wukong, whack.
Womp. I keep trying to fix the aspect ratios, but it's just not working.
So it's a few hundred gold advantage to Players Reborn. Really, the issue here is the first blood and summoners burned off of Vex Dragon. Cage Reaper got the kill, died, and then got an assist. But Stro also got a kill, and getting kills early is very important as Elise. So, like, from the jungle perspective, it's kind of a net neutral. But from the top lane perspective, it's really bad. Like, literally, Dragon came back with a refillable potion, and Ansem came back with the components of Tiamat.
Sorry.
Like,
slowly trying to fix the client here.
Oh, well,
it is not being nice.
So I'm not really I know I am. So Stro was clearing a ward opposite Cage Reaper's blue buff.
I tried.
And then I think Brewer just showed up to help with the pick, and Eclipse was not able to rotate in time to match it.
Now it should be.
It's bot lane. Twitch is invisible. There's going to be a flash out of Astariel. They're going to try to take the damage, but the Guardian's going to block a good amount of the damage coming out from Squirrel Sense and Cage Reaper. So they do burn one summoner, but they think Twitch flashed, and Twitch actually did not. So surviving the Hecarim gank with the loss of only a single flash off of Lulu, who's also healthier, really not that bad for ambiguous Alligator's bot lane.
I've conceded. I have tried to fix it.
And Ignite's going to come out of top lane. Anthem's running, but
not working.
Vex is just going to give him the axe. So
yeah, so Vex is going to get a kill out here, which is going to be really nice. With the Ignite, he has a really strong lane presence where Wukong has the teleport here. He has great, even though he died early, I think Vex might still be able to do a lot of damage that you really need to respect as a Wukong.
Yeah, with the double longswords, the trades are still going relatively well for Vex, particularly with the Ignite being up. And notably, Ansem was not yet 6 there, so he didn't have a Cyclone available to him. He should hit 6 momentarily here. Dragon is going to go down for Players Reborn, though. I think Stro was just clearing his jungle, so early Ocean Drag, always nice, gives you a little bit of health regen. Oh, there's going to be a pause.
Yeah, quick pause here.
Either Savori's kitchen is on fire, or someone is getting groceries. I don't know which.
Maybe both, honestly. If my house is on fire, I might as well just do something positive, you know?
Yeah, perhaps the groceries are on fire.
That's true. The groceries could be on fire, and got to get more groceries, right? So,
yep. All right. So, looking at the game state, I really hate that you can't like pan around when it's paused. We've got a 600 gold lead for Players Reborn. Notably, that still is pretty small because it only amounts to 120 gold per person. So it's not even like a like it's not even like components. It's not even like, oh, this person has a long sword over their opponent, or this person has like a Kindle gem or a blasting wand over their opponents. Like 20 gold in mid. Basically, there's a 400 gold lead in jungle from an extra kill on Cage Reaper. Ansem's actually ahead of Vex Dragon on gold because of his assist, but only by 120, so that doesn't really mean anything. 60 gold in the bot lane and like 60 gold advantage for the Lulu over Dr. Dat. So like really the only advantage in terms of relative strength here is in the jungle, where Cage Reaper is a couple hundred gold ahead, which is going to get him closer and closer to his Trinity Force. He has Sheen now, so he's backing probably to pick that up. So I think what's going to matter in the next few minutes is how much can Caged Reaper do to use his gold advantage over Stro. Like Elise is very much an early game champion. She does not scale well at all. She struggles in the late game because her combo is relatively long for an assassin, and unless she's very fed, she can't just one shot a squishy. And she isn't tanky. She doesn't have a lot of CC outside of Cocoon. So her main goal is to get ahead early and to get her lanes ahead early so that they can carry her. And so I think Stro needs to start doing something, needs to start doing stuff across the map, try to turn some of these lanes where things are very even. And Cage Reaper's goal is to stop that, to get ganks off of himself or even keep on trying to pick off Stro when he finds him in the jungle, because Hecarim is the better scaling champion. Hecarim being ahead is good, and as long as Hecarim is like not falling behind, he can feel pretty comfortable at where he is in the game. We do
Looks like they're slowly going to be coming back here. I think they're slowly thinking about restarting soon. They got a couple things that they want to set up there, but we'll be back in the game momentarily. They are going to resume here, so now we're back in.
So we're going to see first backs coming out for the bot lane. So it is going to be the tier for the Ezreal. It's very common to see the pickaxe first. The fact that Squirrel Hunting went tier suggests that they're really not looking to fight, because Ezreal is basically in a power trough right now. Tier of the Goddess gives him mana and mana sustain, which is really handy, but like it's actually no damage unless you Rise. So he's not going to like be any stronger in terms of dueling than he was before. Whereas Savori picked up a Vampiric Scepter and a dagger, presumably for Blade of the Ruined King. So he's going to have some sustain, a little bit more damage in these fights. So the bot lane duel advantage is in favor of Ambiguous Alligators. We do see the Merc Treads and a Sap Ruby Crystal on Eclipse. So unclear still if this is going to be damage or not, but I think this is probably a tank set then. So the fact that he's Merc Treads means he's just going to like stall the lane out. Like he's not looking to fight here. Now, this is interesting to me. So Stro has finished off his jungle item. He has nothing else, but he does have Runic Echoes. So he's actually on a power spike right now. Like he's at the point where Elise has a lot of damage at this point in the game. He's very capable of hard chunking people out. But Cage Reaper went up. He's going into the ring, is where he's going. Going to get dunked back, but Haymaker will block some of the damage from Brewer. But Cage Reaper has gone for Bami's Cinder. So he's tankier, and he's going to have better clear because of the AoE burn damage, but like he doesn't have the damage himself for dueling, which suggests that he really wants to kind of play it cool and farm.
Whoa, did you see that damage? I wasn't expecting Vex to actually get the kill there. And we do have another fight bot lane here. Cage Reaper's going in. The Yumi's trying to heal him up, but it's not going to be enough. The Lulu does get the ultimate on the I Am Stro. Elise is going to try and pop up the Ezreal there, try and get some more damage out. And so they get caged. They get Ansem. And now they're looking a lot, like, really strong, actually. We got Brewer coming in. Is he going to make a play? I just want to see here if he's going to be able to pick anything off. They're going to be doing another re-engage. Elise is going to be going onto Ari, is going to be picking that off, and that is not good. This is not good for Players Reborn.
No, that's a big turn. Like, they send their mid lane down bot. I mean, Eclipse does burn his TP for nothing, but they essentially pick up 3 kills with nothing answering. There is going to be the final chapter.
But it's not. Out. Oh my word! The drive-by horse comes in and gets a double kill on the bot laners from Ambiguous Alligators there. They're going to be trying to see if they can possibly pick off anyone here with the Elise they set there, but it's not going to happen. It's a 3 versus 2. The response coming in from Players Reborn is amazing. What they did there was completely turning a sour situation completely positive again. And they're not done.
They're going to try to dive this. Good damage coming out of Stro. Dr. Dad may have been pulled off. He may not be able to attach again. Okay, he's going to attach, but they're going to trade Cage Reaper for the chance to escape.
Yeah, getting that other kill there, kind of staying a little bit too long, and then Savory is actually going to be picking off the Ezreal here, taking out the Squirrel Sensei, is going to be picking off the Yuumi. It is just a cat left alone, double kill going over to the Twitch, as well as a shutdown from the Hecarim to the Twitch there, so Twitch is going to be massive.
Yeah, that's huge for Ambiguous Alligators, and that's like the worst case scenario. Is not just does your dive go sour, partially because your Hecarim, like, again, he's got a full tank items. He doesn't have like anything resembling damage or CDR. But a lot of that gold goes to Savory, the Twitch, the hyperscaling ADC. Are they gonna look mid? No, Stro's actually pretty low. Stro probably needs to back. One thing that I didn't talk about, which I should have highlighted as a facet of the top lane matchup, is Kled actually has a lot of access. Oh, they're going to force the Ariel. Kled has a lot of access to True Sight. Both Bear Trap on a Rope and Jousting, the dash, grant True Sight of the target while they're either the hook's attached and while the E mark is still on the target. Also, once Scarl locks on someone with charge, well, sorry.
Down goes a Sariel from the Ezreal ulti from downtown, baby.
Once Scarl locks onto someone, Flash, going invisible, none of that matters. And so Wukong's ability to use Warrior Trickster to try to escape fights isn't really going to work against Kled. Kled's really good against people who depend on invisibility. And he might get top lane here. It's very low. Yeah, he's going to pick up the first tower.
Yeah, first tower going over to the Ionian team here. Really great performance coming out from them. Really getting back and forth, to be honest. You see some good trades, you see some misplays, but they come back, and right now they're ahead, and they're going to just keep up the pressure, I hope.
Which skin is that? I don't recognize it. Is it the Christmas one?
Yeah, that's the medieval one, actually, with the chroma that you can get.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know what you mean.
I think.
I don't play Twitch, so...
Maybe it is the Christmas one.
No, I think you're right. I think it's medieval.
Wait a minute. What is it?
It's not Whistler Village Twitch. It could be like the Ice Prince Twitch.
Maybe. Did that one get a chroma?
Oh, yeah. It's got, yeah, see, it has the ice effect on the abilities. I guess it did have chroma.
Well, here comes Kled coming in with the Elise and absolutely obliterates the Ahri out of the lane there, extending a little bit too far there. Was not expecting a Kled ulti from Red Buff, of all places, you know?
Yeah, sometimes people think they know. Oh, there's going to be a flash dunk. Ansem's going to go into the Cyclone here, but... Sorry, Ansem. This just ain't your day.
Not happening today. See, now we're going to see the global presence that we would see in an Ionian team coming in. And bot lane, there's might possibly have a Twitch and Elise on there, but they're going to be backing. And Hecarim's actually on the flank here, but has no teammates to really get anything for him.
Going to drop the Rift Herald, which is going to, one, take out the mid lane tower actually first for the side of Players Reborn, but also stop them from continuing to push. So it's a really good use of the Rift Herald by Cage Reaper. Really smart to stall out that push. But it's a good use of it was a good use of the Kled ult by Vex Dragon that set that off. The thing with Kled is that he's a lot like Twisted Fate or Talia or any other champion with a roaming ultimate. Your ult is not really useful in combat. You can use the Kled ult in combat for a little bit of damage and to like stick to people, but that's not what it's for. It's for getting around the map and starting fights. And so when you're out of lane, you need to start looking to use your ult to find fights, because otherwise you're not really getting the value you need out of that ultimate.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing some item builds coming out, getting the first completed items from almost everyone on both
Oh,
sides here. What do you think's
I
everyone like? What do you think's gonna be the item path for?
I don't like this build from Cage Reaper. I don't care for it. Like, I understand that he is his team's only frontline right now because Anthem is going for either Bork or Ravenous Hydra. Um, when he, I mean, Bork wouldn't be awful, but it's probably late enough at this point that he needs to go like Triforce or Cleaver next. But like, he's got Giant's Belt for health, which, yeah, it synergizes with Stalker's Blade, but he's got the Sheen. Like, he needs Trinity Force, and he is like 2,500 gold away from it. Trinity Force is one of the most expensive items in the game. I think the most expensive. He's going to try to get a little gold off of Astariel here.
Yeah, he is gonna possibly pick this off here, but
No, maybe
the
not.
Asariel's making him
Okay,
work
yeah.
for it. They are going to be going on to the Hecarim, getting some nice damage off.
Breaker's
Does
off the
get
mark.
the stun off from the Elise. They are going to be looking for more, but I don't think they really want to. Ari has the Yuumi on her, but now they're in an awkward spot. Yuumi ulti going out. They are going to try and get the set here. Massive damage. Ezreal's on the background, is going to be taking out the Twitch, and now the Elise falls shortly after. Set's the only one alive. It's a 3 versus 1. I don't believe this set's gonna escape. But if he does, he will be put in the history books. Spider set does whatever a spider set does.
Wait, maybe he's out.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
So it starts with a pick by Cage Reaper, but then Ambiguous Alligators overstay when, like, they don't have Vexed, who's very strong. Stro, it takes a bunch of damage and eventually falls, but the main thing is, like, you have a set. He's got Cleaver, admittedly, but Savory was super low. Yeah, like, Cage Reaper's building Deadman's, which, like, sure, Deadman's is good on Heck, but, like, the issue is Triforce is your big damage item. Like, Triforce is where so much of Hecarim's damage comes from. It gives him so many things he wants. Health, AD, the Sheen proc, cooldown reduction, move bonus, movement speed, the Phage pad. Like, there's so many things that Hecarim wants out of Trinity Force, and it's going to take so long for him to finish it because he needs another 700 gold to finish his Deadman's, and he doesn't even have space for a Trinity Force opponent.
They actually get the cat pulled out from Ezreal's membrane there. We're going to be doing some more damage. Down goes the Wukong. Here comes Cage, going to be taking out the Elise with the help of Ari, with Ezreal as well. They are possibly going to be looking for more. Ezreal is pretty strong. He can go right on in there and with no fear whatsoever.
Yeah, a good... the Kled picks off the Yuumi with the bear trap on a rope. They're going to try to pick off the Lulu here.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to look for more.
He's taking a lot of damage there, but I think they're going to pick off the Ari.
Ari does fall. Dragon is up. It is running really low.
Spite. It's going to be very close.
Okay.
Okay, it does go. It does go to Players Reborn. Squirrel Sensei, he's going to flash.
Yeah, he was waiting for the E cooldown, but it wasn't happening. The Yuumi's back now with the Hecarim. Is it going to be able to get enough to get the stun on, or the root rather, onto the Lulu? Does take out Lulu. Set's coming in with a flash E combo into a W. Nice damage coming out. He lives and is able to take out the Hecarim. The Elise popping up, the Elise popping down, and these team fights are just non-stop back and forth, you know? When they die, they come back and they fight more. They just don't stop.
I want to look at game one because I'd like to figure out across the series what was the fastest Ansem completed an item. Because right now it's almost 19 minutes. Like, Ansem can surrender and he doesn't have an item yet. He's working on Death's Dance, which, like, I think is not really what he wants here. Like, there's 2 full items on Vexed, and Ansem still is working on a very kind of greedy lifesteal based build when he's not able to split push against the Kled. Notably, he's building sustain against a champion who has built-in 60% grievous wounds on Bear Trap on a rope. It's not going to give him team fight tankiness or utility. Like, oh my god, is Reaper going glacial? Is he going Iceborne? Like, I guess
I
tank
hope.
Hecarim could be okay
Maybe.
here, but
I feel like it's gonna be the Triforce. I think it's just gonna be a
it better
really
be the
late
Tri.
Triforce.
But like, ultimately, while these fights are really back and forth, and it is a gold lead, excuse me, and a small kill lead for oh, he's going in on Sivori here.
Sivori is gonna have the damage numbers. Does take him out there. Gets the nice double knock up with his ulti, and even without a completed item, this is what happens to ADCs nowadays.
Yeah, it was very close, admittedly, but Ansem does pick up a kill, which he really needs. That might give him enough to finish Death Dance here.
Oh, here comes Kled. Not able to find anyone,
yeah, that's off the
though.
mark there. But ultimately, whatever the kill and gold leads, it's a very slight lead in favor of Ambiguous Alligators. Players Reborn are on Soul Point. They're almost to the Infernal Soul, which will just give them so much damage against a team that doesn't really have a tank. Like, Set went Cleaver into Death's Dance, so he's durable, but not like durable enough. He's not a full tank. Like, with okay, they're gonna force Gruber's ult there. With Infernal Soul is absolutely a win condition, and there's probably not much that Ambiguous Alligators can do if they do manage to confirm the Infernal Soul.
Yeah, they're going to try and see if they can pick off Eclipse here. They're going to be looking for more. The Yuumi ulti going out, the Set ulti going down. They are going to have enough damage just to take out Set before he's able to kill the Hecarim. The Yuumi coming in clutch here. Now we see Ansem on the Wukong going in onto the Lulu. And is responded by I Am Storm on the Elise, stopping him with a nice cocoon from zoning him away and keeping him back.
On the Hecarim, and I'm very mad about it. Yeah, there was a bit of anti-synergy in that fight. The Showstopper pulled, I think it was Hecarim, out of the Bear Trap on a rope's tether range, so he didn't get the snap, which might have been able to confirm the kill. But like, Eclipse was just kind of surrounded and doing the best he could. So we've got a tank Hecarim who's basically just there for disruption. He's got a lot of kills, so I mean, I guess it's working out. And it does open up the space to have more damage-oriented top and mid laners, given that Ansem is essentially going full damage. So I guess it makes sense as an adaptation to a team comp where your Wukong is going full damage and you have a Yuumi support, so she's not a tank.
Yeah, it should be it's gonna be nice. I would rather the Triforce though, for sure, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And just like,
So
we do have a completed item from Ansem though.
We do. He has his Death Dance. So we're on Soul Point now. Dragon is, hold on.
Dragon's coming up in about 25 seconds here.
Yes. It doesn't put objective timers on by default. So right now, the vision control in the river and the positioning favors player Reborn. They're kind of just waiting for someone to face check. And it probably needs to be Kled or Eclipse. They're looking for a pick. They're not going to find it.
Cage is looking for stuff, but he is unable to really get anything done. The pull from in the Bear Trap here.
He's going to take a lot of damage, but Yuumi will be able to keep him healthy.
Yeah, if they want to take this dragon, they absolutely can now.
It's going to hit the clone.
Does ult in. Not enough damage. See, Cage is down low, but they do have a Yuumi, so a couple E's from her is going to bring him back to full, essentially, here. They are on Soul Point, so it's going to be a fight that they have to take.
Yep. Anthem's sitting in the bush. He's going in stealth, but he's actually going to get stunned. He's going to go into Cyclone. Istario's going to ult himself, but Anthem will fall without any kills. Eclipse will fall to Gruer on the other side.
Yeah, so a 1-for-1 exchange, and they still want to keep going, you know? See Vex Dragons going in onto the Cage, Cage going in onto the Kled. Now we're going to see if...
I don't think there's
yeah, he does. Yeah, he's going to definitely take out Cage here. The smite button is down. They have to give this up. They have to say it's fine. They can take one dragon. But they're going to be trying to see if they can do more.
They're going to take out Gruer, so that should confirm it. It's now 4-2. Vex is exhausted.
Can Ezreal do enough damage to sneakily assassinate the Kled here?
Well, he can't get the dragon, so that is going to delay the soul. So the win condition for Players Reborn has been held off for a little bit longer.
Now we're going to probably see a nice reset into another major objective, which is going to be Baron. So, Alligators here, you know, the Ionian team need to figure something out, and they need to find a way to get this Baron before the Players are born does it themselves, you know? They all have to reset, so if the time is right, the time is now. And Players are born should be going on to this Baron.
So, you know, I just noticed something interesting, at least through her Spiderling at blue buff, the volatile Spiderling, the W. And when it exploded, it highlighted the location the blue buff bush would be. Like, but this is an Infernal map, so there's no bush, which suggests to me that Riot, in an example of lazy coding, they don't actually remove the bushes on Infernal Rift. They just make them invisible. Like, they're still there, they're just invisible.
No way, I haven't noticed that. That's actually a really cool interaction.
Know. The way to test it would be to have a Maokai throw a sapling where, they're going for Gruer here.
Yeah, they are going to be able to take out Gruer. They're going to be looking for more. Vex Dragon's in danger there. Ansem and Cage are going to be doing a 2-on-2 matchup there, but it's going to be rudely interrupted by I Am Stro on the Elise. Ezreal and Yuumi are going to be doing this nice 2 versus 2 in their own jungle. They're getting a beautiful double kill onto Kavori, onto Eclipse, but the fight is not done. Here comes the assassination attempt coming out from I Am Stro. Ansem here's to respond back as well. Then we have Vex Dragon in the backline. This Ezreal has no one to protect him right now except for the Yuumi. He's running really, really low, gets healed up by Yuumi, but it is Ezreal versus the world right now.
Yeah, this is basically like, what you have is you have an under... Oh!
Down goes Elise. Ezreal's gonna do it. The Yuumi's gonna make it.
For Gled. Boop. There he is.
Ace coming in.
It's basically on Squirrel Sensei's back at this point, because what you have is you have a like if you look, you have an the mastery spam's coming out. It's not a match, so
this is a show match, so this is fine. This is fine. I like when players can spam emotes. I like it when they can spam masteries. Because it might be disrespectful in some senses, but you know what? When it's for fun and you're just having a good time with your team, I think it's fair game.
Yeah, so when you look at the team comp from the perspective of Squirrel Sensei, you have an underfed full damage Wukong, who's like working on his second item still at a time when most people have 2 and are working on their third. So like, Ansem is basically a suicide bomber at this point. His job is to go in ult and hopefully kill like Sivori or Stro or Astariel. But he's not like going to completely dominate a fight. You have a full tank Hecarim who's there mostly for disruption. And he's got decent damage, but not like enough. And you have an Ahri who doesn't have death cap yet. Once Gruer gets death cap, his damage will be pretty significant. But it is a glacial Ahri. And, like, it's not about how well or badly Gruer is playing. Like, it's a utility build.
Oh, that's a fast Cage. Oh, my word. Oh, my gosh. He's running at Mach 20 speeds down the lane.
So they're going to force the flash, but Gruer's actually going to get caught by the cocoon and exploded.
Yeah, we do see the
coming in. They don't realize what direction it's coming from.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for more here. They are going to be able to take out the Hecarim. And now it's Ezreal again. Honestly, I like the Ezreal damage, and it's just going to be massive. He might be able, with Yuumi, to win this 2 versus 4. And that's a double kill.
Yeah, Sivori's dead. Like,
yeah, they're looking for more. They're looking. Come on. Go get him. Go get him, boy. Go get him.
They managed to disengage enough, but, like, you have a utility Ahri, an underfed Wukong, and a tank Hecarim. Like, this game is Squirrel Sensei's where he has to be the one to do the damage. And he's absolutely doing it there. Like, you see, Kled gets onto him, but Kled can't, between the Yuumi healing and Ezreal's own safety, cannot confirm the kill. Set isn't there. Stro is still very squishy because he's an Elise. Like he jumps in, gets cocooned, and there's literally no consequences.
Yeah.
Like, because what are they going to do to him? Like, he's got Bork. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for a Death Dance next. There's not much armor, so he doesn't need a Last Whisper, though he probably needs a Mortal Reminder for the anti-heal. This should be an Infernal Soul.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for more here. This is going to be Soul for sure. This Smite comes down from Cage. Going to be getting the Soul here. So the burst potential is going to be huge and is going to be really good for Ezreal and for Ahri and for Hecarim and for Wukong. So I really like Infernal on this team.
Oh yeah, Infernal is hugely important on this. It's like hugely valuable on this team. It's also going to give Cage a little bit of damage. A little bit more damage there. Notably, the gold lead is still really close. Like we're talking about this like it is essentially, in the bag for Players Reborn, but it's actually very close in terms of gold. It's really the dragon objectives that are giving them such power, and where the gold is distributed. The gold is pretty even on the side of ambiguous alligators, but a lot of it is on Elise and Kled, early game champions that are now falling off. Whereas a lot of the gold for Players Reborn is on their bot lane duo, which is very much going to give them a scaling advantage. Kled's going in, but
Kled is going in
very deep.
Yeah, he had to immediately hop out of that one. He ran into an Ezreal with a Yuumi, then there was a Hecarim, then there was an Ahri, and he's like, oh no.
The final chapter's coming out.
Whoa, big damage coming in from Sett. Nice ulti into 4 members of the team. There is not going to be enough, though. The Eclipse surely sets and is now going to fall as we see that Players Reborn are going to just keep going in. Ezreal is going to do as much damage as possible. Twitch is going to live as long as he can, but is unable to do anything to respond to this. Now they're going to be going over to taking this Baron, and it's going to be... I think it's going to be it. The end is near, essentially.
So notably, Players Reborn have actually only taken 1 tower, and that's the mid-tier 1 that Cage Reaper dropped the Rift Herald for. So I don't know if they can end off of this Baron simply because of how many towers they have to go through. Even if they just hard run it down mid, they're still looking at 4 towers and an inhib. And if they want to go for side lanes, there's even more towers. There's going to be a reset coming out. A number of members are low on mana, so they're going to need to replenish their resources. Ansem finishes his 2nd item, Trinity Force. But like they're certainly going to be able to break the base, and the wave clear is not very good for ambiguous alligators. Kled needs to be in melee to wave clear, same with Sett. And I don't think Twitch, even with Runan's Hurricane, will have enough wave clear against a Baron wave to really stop this push.
Yeah, they're going to be... I think they might take a couple turrets, you know? I really want to see them do something with this Baron buff.
I think they get the mid inhib. I'd like them to send Ansem bot to get some free towers there, because realistically, Kled can only match in one place, and if you're keeping Kled there, that's good. And Ansem needs the money. He also needs help because he loses 75% of his HP.
He has a faster back now, so no need to fear. The Ansem will return.
Reaper is going to push the bot lane in, which is going to kind of stall out this mid push, because Cage Reaper is a lot of their initiation, particularly with Ansem not having flash. Excuse me. He can't just flash into the enemy team. So like Cage is maybe going to get this tower, but it's going to deny them the option to actually like push for the win or push for the base, because their initiation button is down there.
Yeah, I think they're just looking for turrets at this rate now, so they're just taking down all the tier 1s. They're just getting the money that they deserve, you know? It's been stored up money that hasn't been given to them, and now has created a much larger gold lead.
Little's coming out. It's not going to be on target.
No. Twitch is going to get a couple auto attacks off onto Gruer there, but is not going to be enough to take them down.
They pick up 2 tier 1s. So there's now about a 5,500 gold lead for the side of Players Reborn. But relatively small gains from the Baron. They still have it. We can't tell how long they have it, but see, Baron's 6 minutes to respawn. They only have it for like 30 more seconds, I think.
Yeah. They have like maybe one more push left in them and then it's done.
Wait, Baron respawns every 5 minutes, or is it 6?
I think it's
I think it's 5.
I think it's 5.
Yeah, okay, so it's 3 minutes. So Baron is 2.5. So I think they actually have 30 more seconds, 40 more. Today we learned that Phoenix doesn't know how long Baron lasts. I think it's 2.5.
I feel like it's
No,
3.
it's 2
Oh,
minutes. It's 2.
It's 2 minutes.
Because the first Elder is 2.5. No, Elder's 2, but later buffs last longer. I think it becomes 2.5 minutes after the first.
Oh yeah. Now we're gonna see the cage going in onto Sro there. Ansem's gonna be following up on the back lines as well. They might be able to potentially grab something here as Eclipse is also in the fray, but nothing will come of that. Now they're going to be fighting for this Elder.
Yeah, so we have Elder coming up in 22 seconds. Excuse me, sorry. Elder on poke champions like Ezreal is super good because it's really easy to get someone low enough that they have to back or risk dying.
Okay, here's the fight. The Cled's going in onto the clone. And now Ansem's going to get a nice couple knockups there, but he's going to fall down. The cat has to retreat over to the Ezreal there. They are going to be looking for more. Ansem has fallen, but they are all slow as well and low. The Lulu is dead. They are going to be possibly picking up this free Elder Drake here. There's not much Ambiguous Alligators can do to stop this.
Yeah, Cage is low, but he'll be able to heal off of the Scuttle Crab and get the Yuumi healing.
Ooh.
And one of the issues that without their jungle, not going to smite it, but without the Lulu, it's very hard for Twitch to exist safely in a fight.
So all 5 members, well, all 4 members actually, Ansem has fallen, so he won't be able to get the Elder buff there. But oh boy, did they find Vex? Was that bush warded? I don't believe so. I think that was just, we think he's here.
There's no ward on it. It's possible they saw him walk into it from clearing a wave. Oh wait, there's a blue ward in the pixel brush. Maybe he walked in. My guess is they saw one way or another. They saw him walk into the bush, and they just like guessed on where he was.
They guessed correctly. As they get a free kill here, they are probably going to be able to hopefully take a turret. Cage, their frontliner, is going to be taking the blue buff. And
they won't get
slowly
the
regrouping.
Power without Baron, but Baron's coming up in 30, so a very slow play from Players Reborn. They're not really trying to push the end without a overwhelming advantage. But they should, they've got a full build Hecarim who's level 18, 2 levels up on this Elise. They should have pretty easy access to winning this fight. Ansem still has TP, so he can hang out bot lane, and then look to teleport to the Baron fight if needed.
Yeah, so they're going to be going for this Baron. And honestly, with this Elder buff there, I don't know if the Alligators can really stop this.
I don't think they can.
From Baron, it will lead into more and more bleeding, I think. It will definitely go into possibly an inhibitor, into, if anything, the end scene here.
Sente in the back.
Yeah, Kavori's in the back lane, but the Elder Burn's going to blow him up. Eclipse is there as well, is trying to do as much damage as possible. Double kill going out over onto Gruer's Ahri, and they're looking for more onto Vex. Cage is going to be picking up the kill on Kled, and now they are going to be taking the turret. They are going to definitely be taking the, possibly the Elise. The Cage is just fast. He just wants to run around the map at Mach 20 speeds. I'm just thinking of this Sonic theme song in my head right now.
I'm just thinking of that video, I Am the Fast.
I am the fast. Fast gas.
And that is going to be game. Players Reborn, 38 minutes. It's quite a long game, but they will be the champions of the show match.
Yeah, great job. Really showing up for the Shurmia team there. Really impressive. Really great performance from them. Players Reborn, well done. GG, taking the victory here. What do you want to take away from this? Like, I know it was a show match. I know it was for fun there, but just seeing these two high-class teams, what can we really learn from this, you know?
I think the importance of drafting and itemization, but particularly drafting, I think both games, the drafts were pretty solidly in favor of Players Reborn. They had better matchup, not just necessarily lane matchups, but like they balanced out their drafts better. Good mix of engage, disengage. They drafted safe bot laners so they could afford to go dive heavy through top jungle and mid, and they didn't have to focus on peeling. But also did have champions with carry potential. They made sure that they were on champions they were mostly comfortable on. So I think the draft choices were a lot better from Players Reborn than they were from Ambiguous Alligators.
Yeah, absolutely. Really well done. Really great here. I wanted to just take a moment to look at the Players Reborn's damage numbers here. Ezreal coming in hot with these numbers. I'm not sure if you see it, but it's a 41k. The next person to do this much damage would be the enemy Elise on Ambiguous Alligators at 27k. And so, if anything, that tank Ezreal was very, very balanced.
Yeah, it's like, and I feel like the damage chart is enlightening there for blue side, because like it's not like Stro played it badly. It was just he was a situation where he's an Elise and you don't really have lanes to play around. You could have ganked top, admittedly, but like after the early gank, top was kind of winning on its own. And bot lane doesn't have a lot of interaction options in either case because like they're both farming lanes. Like Twitch Lulu is not like a hard engage lane. It's like you can gank bot, but Twitch mostly wants to farm. And you've got a set who's mostly just like wave clearing. So it's not like there from Stroh's perspective, it's probably just like, where do I go? Like where do I gank to get the advantages? And if you can't get the advantages early, Elise really struggles. It's kind of like Rek'Sai. Like if you're not crushing things early on Rek'Sai, it gets real rough later in the game. And if just the way the comps are set up don't really allow you to get that early advantage, it really can feel like there's not much you can do.
Yeah, very well said. Now I see in chat here that Ansem is asking for a post-game interview. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. Would you like to talk to Ansem real quick about
Oh, I
these
would love to
matches?
talk to Ansem.
Ansem, can you hear us? Come here,
I can
brother.
hear you.
Oh
Okay,
yes.
Ansem. I have a question.
Yes.
Uh, what was the earliest you finished an item in this series? Like 18 minutes? Did you finish one before 18 minutes?
Yes. Yes.
Because your Death's Dance was 19 minutes in game 2.
Yes.
And
Did
the
you not see that I
adaptive
finished my boots before my death stance?
boots don't count. Boots are not
Oh.
a legendary item according to the new item sets. We
All
live
right,
in the
let me
future
get
now,
hold up.
Ansem.
Hold up.
When did you finish the adaptive helm?
I'm checking for confirmation. Build. 20 minutes.
Hey, 20 minutes.
Because I just built like a bunch of components. Like I built the Bammies, I built the Merc Trends, and then I built the adaptive.
Dude, if minutes
so, like,
were years, your adaptive helm would have been able to vote in the election.
Hell yeah, dude. Yo, so would my death stance then. It would have been 19.
Yeah, like it was great, you know? It's faster than Nevada, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, but hey, Ansem, I had a couple questions as well going into these games. What was your mindset on the team here? Because you came in with some really cool team comps and what was your mindset going in facing against this Ionian team?
So this is actually my first time that I actually played against Vex this season because last time I got internet gapped by Comcast. So I was looking forward to it, and then we're like, wait a minute, but Vex is playing all these champions to counter tanks. So we just had to ban those.
Why'd you ban the Darius though?
Because he has been practicing that as well. He doesn't play tanks.
Yes, but like, why didn't you just pick the Darius?
Because I didn't think that. Well, for one, while Darius has been fine for me, it doesn't do fine for our team.
Notice that like when you drafted the Darius in the finals, like it seemed like your team really found their stride, putting you generally on like scaling team fight tanks.
Yeah.
And having that more reliable tank presence out of top lane
Yeah.
as opposed to something like lane dominating.
Yeah, because even with the Darius, I would go Black Cleaver instead of Trinity Force, but that still doesn't change the fact that one is an actual super tank and one is just a bruiser. And ironically enough, I did have that exact same matchup in the semifinals, and I won that time. But that just goes to show you that Karen is the best laning top laner in CEAL.
I mean, admittedly, the thing with Karen is also, though, that Karen is never going... Like, Karen's always just going to pick something that'll win lane.
Yeah, like, he says that he is the best laning top laner, and it's pretty nice that his team allows him to get 3 counter picks.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I remember... what was it? It was in a previous season, like for a matchup against Tuba. I was just like, because of our relative champ pools, if he wants to engineer a winning matchup, he can.
Yeah.
And with Karen, they're just going to be like, hey, Karen, you want to play like Ignite Olaf top? And he'll be like, yeah.
No, because it's funny because with all 3 of those games, so like, yes, he beat me in CS, but in all 3 of those games, I either solo killed him or got him so low that he couldn't ever choose to fight me on his terms.
And I think that the switch to tank makes sense there. Like, if you are going to accept that you're going to be down on CS, play something where that's okay versus something like Darius where it's like you have to be winning lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while, yes, again, I did solo kill him once or twice in the Darius Kennen matchup, and then again I solo killed him in the Ornn versus Trundle matchup. Yeah, explain to me that one, Karen.
So I have another question. So I want to give a shout out to Squirrel Sensei, who like had...
Oh yeah, no, he hard carried the series.
Game.
Him and Dad, they just hard carried the series.
So is that part of your drafting plans? Because what I noticed in both games was you pick the Jhin in game 1, immobile, but you have a Zillion to protect it, and then you do Ezreal Yuumi too. It looked like you were trying to arrange drafts so that Sensei can do his damage and doesn't need to worry about keeping himself alive because someone else is going to protect him.
Correct. And what our strategy had been was to just completely ignore bottom lane, even if they have like the best setup for ganks and easy kills. Like if Twitch had no flash, no cleanse, no Lulu, Cage would just not even go there, just out of pure respect for the fact that Squirrel is just that damn good. And that he also just hates ganking for Dad.
I had one more question actually, and I was genuinely curious about this. In game 1 here, run me through the comms when you all saw Cage die to Grump and
Cage, you're dog shit at Grump.
I believe it was a sacrifice to the Grump gods.
Just started, we kept referencing that. It's like, oh, Cage, what? It's like, I'm so underleveled, I'm so underfarmed. It's like, yeah, because you died to Grump. It's like, that doesn't stop. It's like, dying to Grump doesn't make me lose experience. It's like, yeah, but you don't gain experience either. So what's the point?
For 2 more days, before the item is deleted, I have a piece of advice for Caged. Adaptive Helm works on Gromp's attacks. Because Gromp's attacks are coded as spells.
Yep.
Also, Dragon's attacks are coded as spells, but they do physical damage, so they don't apply Adaptive Helm. But for some reason, Adaptive Helm works on Gromp.
Yeah.
Also, I think
same with Dragons.
Randuin's what?
Dragon's attacks also are the same. It's coded as spells, which is why Severe can get spell shields off.
But Adaptive Helm doesn't work on Dragon because Adaptive Helm is specifically spells that deal magic damage, and Dragon does physical. I think Randuin's actually used to apply to the first auto attack or 2 from Grump because it was considered a crit.
Thank you for showing up here, Ansem. We're going to have a quick intermission, and when we come back, we're going to be going into our VOD show of the Freljord Finals.
One
I gotta-
last thing. One last thing
dip.
I want to say before the stream ends. Thank you for everybody in CEAL. Thank you for Players Reborn. I would like to say that this will be, as is now, my last season competing directly in CEAL. I'm still going to be a part of the community. I'm going to become a part of the full stream team to help with hosts and casting. Competitive just got really stressful for me, so I'm just going to go and help with the stream team. And coming off on the win for both Shurmia and against Ionian teams feels pretty good.
And so, I mean, obviously, it's been great. I've played with you in a previous season, so it's been great having you competing. But I'm sure we'll have a chance to cast together at some point. So you go out a winner.
Yes. More Ansem casts coming soon to a TV near you.
All right, I think we got to dip out, folks, and I got to step aside for the next casters to set up. So thank you all for joining us for this show match, and we will be back shortly.